All right, so I am sitting here with Amber, the abstract princess, and
Amber
she,
Josky.
yay! And she's allowed me to come into her studio, her home, and see her beautiful artwork. We're going to look at that in a second or two, and just get a feel for who she is as an artist and what her art is and what has brought her to this space within the art community that she's in, and look at her contributions into this community and think about going forward what she wants to do. So, Amber, thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate you, a stranger from Instagram, that you were so gracious and generous and allowed me to come in. So, I'll begin by just my questions are formulated in a three-part kind of idea. So, I want to know about your background. So, give us a little bit of info on who you are and how you got here at this point. Where did you start in terms of art school and the thing that you were telling me earlier?
Okay. Well, I started at the Art Institute of Washington as an interior design major. And I had big dreams of bringing bright and bold color into spaces.
Okay.
I just didn't want to, I got tired of seeing, oh, this is fabulous because it's beige and it's brown and it's, gold and, King Arthur kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to bring, contemporary color and design into the interior design world. I got bored towards the end of my education, and I found out that you really were under the control of bigger designers as you get into the field. So I said, you know what? I'm taking color. I'm taking paint class. Maybe I can provide the items that go into these spaces to bring the color. And I started off, purely abstract. If you look at my Instagram, you can see some of my early stuff. And it was just as wild and crazy and colorful as it is now. And I went to my professor, one of my painting classes, and I said, what do you think about this? And she said, well, I don't know what it is, but keep doing it. I like it,
Okay.
And I kept doing it, graduated from paper to canvas.
Okay.
And that's when I really fell in love with it. And, I said, this feels like who I am. Okay. This feels like something that I can contribute.
I can see that from you, from this. I can see this.
It feels like who I am.
Yes.
And it's been almost 15-year ride since.
Very good. Yeah. Wonderful. Okay, so then specifically about abstracts and the genre of abstractionism. What brought you here?
Well, of course, in art school, you take all the different, mediums. You do all the different styles of painting, and just sitting there drawing a bowl of fruit, drawing cityscapes, all that I can do, but it just felt so just restrictive.
Okay.
And I wanted to be completely free. I wanted to see how my mind would go if I just let it free.
Okay.
How far could I take it? How could I make colors interact with each other? How could I make them dance? In each painting, I discovered something new about, oh, my mind went that way, and and it's just interesting. So I settled in on abstract really early.
Okay.
And it's weird because people usually graduate to abstract after they mastered cityscapes, still life, portraits, and then they graduate. But I started there, which was so unique, as a young person coming into the art world. Okay. So I started at the most advanced level.
Right.
And I'm just here now.
So now we talked a couple seconds ago about some of your inspiring artists from the past, and I know you wrote down Kandinsky. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. We went on a big history. We have to find something that looks like, where do I get this from? Has this been done before? And I researched a lot of the painters from, Basquiat to Picasso, Kandinsky, all of the heavyweights. And Kandinsky was the one that he felt more like family. His art felt like my they're cousins to each other. And so I'm constantly inspired by Kandinsky. I love any of his shows. If I see a show, I'll fly out to go see his work.
His work. Okay. Okay, that's a fan. That's a fan.
Yes.
Now I want to shift to kind of thinking retrospectively, but thinking currently, kind of reflectively, um, what was and what is your experience as a female artist?
A female artist. I find that the men, the abstract painters, they're naturally, they can take on the art world. They can take on the heavy hitters and the nightlife that comes with the art world, Whereas the women, we're a little more subdued.
Okay.
So we may not get as many opportunities as the men may get.
Okay.
We're mothers, we're, homemakers, so we may not be as prevalent on the art scene as some of the men.
I got you.
The men counterparts.
Okay.
But we're here.
We're here. Okay.
Did
you find a feel, or did you find some nuances about gender when you were in art school?
I didn't think, from my personal view, the men were the more, the big cityscapers, the big land, the technical drawings, and the straight lines, arrows, dots here, there, I feel like the abstract is a more feminine side.
Interesting.
Of the art world, because you feel and you trust your feelings.
I love that.
And it's a smooth kind of dance instead of straight lines,
Right. Right.
And so I find that, most men were like, abstract,
Interesting. That is very interesting, especially when you think of historically, the beginning of abstract expressionism. But now in this time, that was what, 60-ish years ago?
Yeah.
And here we are now, a completely different world, same genre, but you had a different experience with it, where you felt it was something that your femininity could definitely embrace. Okay, so then that brings me to one of my questions of this 7 Simple. From your past to your present, what do you see as your future? What do you see as your future? And then artistically, what do you see as the future?
My future, I may be a little biased, but I do feel like I have put a little stamp of abstract in myself on the art world that not everyone sees yet, but it's there, and it'll be there forever.
Okay.
And now it's just to get that stamp, to get a little more light and a little more exposure. And my job as an artist now, when I was younger, it was to be seen, get on the shows, do this, do that, everything is notoriety. And now it's more of I did that, it's out there, just paint, just continue creating, and let it come.
Interesting. Now, what would you say to, so this is a 2-part question. What would you say to your younger you, your you of 15, 20 years ago? What would you say to your younger you? What would you tell her?
Not to be so focused on the money aspect, but paint to perfect your craft. And study more of the greats.
Interesting. Study more of the greats. That's what you would tell your younger self.
Yes.
So now that's going to give me a segue to my other part of this question. What would you tell artists today? What would you tell artists who are established maybe, but still striving, who are building their legacy? What would you tell a female artist today?
Female artists today, continue to paint. Document your work. Don't wait for the galleries to document your stuff. You document your work. And be seen whenever you can. If you have a free weekend and you want to go to your local art fair, be seen. Nothing is too small.
Okay.
No venue is too small. It may not be the big white wall galleries that's calling you,
Right.
but you can get seen at your neighborhood art show
Okay.
or your state's art show.
That's very good
and
advice.
still get the same kind of
Yes.
exposure, still get the same kind of love. So
no, that's really good advice. Before the camera was rolling, you told me a little bit about some of your experiences of going selling your own art.
yes.
Go back and share that. Tell me about the Eastern Market time.
Yes, the Eastern Market times, probably between 2005 and 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I did the Eastern Market. It's a famous market in DC,
Mm-hmm.
Saturday and Sunday. And it was a first come, first serve. Vendors from all over would come to sell their stuff at Eastern Market.
Mm-hmm.
You had to get there early.
Mm-hmm. What is early?
I'm talking 4 in the morning,
Wow.
5 in the morning to get your name on the list.
Right.
So I would get there, pack up my car, sit out there 4 in the morning, cold, whatever, to give me a spot.
Mm-hmm.
Set up my tent, show my art, and some days I didn't make a dime.
Mm.
But the love, the encouragement that I received were enough to say, you know what, I'll try it again.
I love what you just said. The love was enough.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times what we create, we are creating it from something in here, from love. So getting that love back, it does sometimes feel like enough.
Yep, it was enough.
Wow, that's that's inspiring. That's inspiring and aspirational at the same time. I love it. I love it. All right, so I'm going to wind down with thinking about some of your current ventures. You told me a little bit about the home interiors. Backtrack for me and share with the camera the home interiors and lifestyle venture.
So, staying true to interior design, I believe all interiors should be nice, contemporary, have some color, just for mental health issues and mental health well-being. You know, everyone should be exposed to color on a daily basis. So, from my art, we split off into Jafel Design, which is a design company that transforms the fine art aspect into household items. Wow. So the first item was the Amber Rug, which took some of my original art and we turned it into a super nice rug, 100% wool, made in India from award-winning Passagar carpets in DC.
Wow.
And that's just one of many. We're going to do some fine china. We're going to do some other little things that can be tucked away in one's home. It's like, okay, that's nice.
Okay, so now you're skipping the really juicy success part about how you started the rug. What did you do to get these carpets even come to fruition?
I was on Connecticut Avenue in DC, and I walked past Passagar carpets, and something just said, "Go in there and talk to them."
Really?
So I went in there and I said,
"What was that something? Was it a little voice on your shoulder?"
Little voice
on your shoulder. Okay, okay, little voice on the shoulder.
And I went in there and I said, "Hey, I'm a local artist from DC. I want to take my art and I want to see it on the floor." And I showed them a picture of my art on the phone, and he said, "Talking to the right people." And 3 months later, I had a rug. Wow. And it was beautiful. I mean, it was true to color. The colors were vivid. I mean, the rugs, I wish I had one to show you, but they're sold out. But
okay.
Just breathtakingly beautiful pieces of art on the floor.
Wow.
And we've worked well together and hoping to produce more, you know. But entrepreneurship is not easy.
Oh, yes. We were talking about that. We were talking about the successes that come from it and that hard work that has to go into it. Well, Amber, you have been such a joy to talk. Wonderful light coming from you. It's coming from the artwork. It's coming from you. I'll end by asking you to tell me a little bit about this piece that's in the background. I was really glad that we could get this one. I'm going to show some of the other ones, but I was really glad we could get this one in the background because it's the largest in the room that I see, and it speaks to me the most. So tell us a little bit about this as we wind down.
So I did this piece. It's titled Haiti City Lights.
Okay.
After the Haiti earthquake, I'm kind of a nerd, so when natural disasters happen, I just focus in on, what's going on, the recovery. I study it, study the country. And so this piece is the Haiti flag their colors,
Mm-hmm.
and they're a vibrant people.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted something to show their vibrancy, something to show their strength,
Mm-hmm.
something to show them rebuilding.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, to me, a Haiti rebuilt.
Oh, okay. And
The lights are on.
The lights are on. I can
The
see
people are
that.
out in the streets.
And there's movement.
There's movement.
Energy.
There's
I can
energy.
hear it.
Yes.
I can hear it. Very nice.
Yes.
I love it. One of the things that I noticed from following you on Instagram, because y'all, that's how I met her. I just be following her on Instagram.
One abstract princess.
Right. I follow her on Instagram and always love her work, and I felt like it had so much energy and so much movement. And I've always been curious, what's the backstory? Because with every piece of creation that comes from humanity, there's a story behind that. There's something that happened to us, in us, around us, by us, that makes us create what we create. And I am a firm believer that art is a language. It's a universal language that we can all speak.
Yes.
It is a global language that doesn't need French or German or the schwa or any of that. It doesn't need symbols. It just needs your head to be open. It needs your heart to be open. It needs your eyes to receive and let all of that sink in. When I look at your work, I definitely felt that. I felt that there was a message there, but I didn't know what the message was. So even before this project, I was always thinking, I wonder what she was thinking when she made that. That's a really nice one. And I would look at your stuff, and I'd go down in my basement, because all my stuff is down there. And I'd go down in the basement, I'd look at a piece that I made, and it would make me think about my own work and what I had done. So you've already inspired me. So hopefully, from this little conversation, you will inspire other ladies too, to take that leap and be who they are and put themselves out there and put their work out there for the world to see. Thank you so much, Amber. I really appreciate you. Thank you very much.
So awesome.